So Michael developed and has his own development team where he's developed his system for click-through rate manipulation, and he'll go through everything. But basically, if you know anything, and I know quite a few of you in here do know something about some click-through rate manipulation. You've heard Chris Palmer and all these other people talk about it, and you can do micro workers, and then you could do proxies, and you got click-through rate booster and using your IP address and everything. Well, what Michael's pretty much done is he's got this at scale. So number one, the type of proxies he's using. He'll probably go over that. The devices he's using, the best ones being mobile, which is, you know, I'll let him talk about it. But basically, he's got this thing set up to a T, and I've been testing it for a while because, there's a lot of people that say, hey, this works or doesn't work, and CTR doesn't work. And then I had tested Michael, and within 4 days, I was ranking for terms. There's screenshots I've been posting as of late where sending the CTR booster methods that he uses and having things go from page 4 and 5 to page 1 within less than a few days. So I want y'all to give him your attention. He's going to go over the program and everything and show you exactly what everything he has and what we do together and all that. And at the end of the class, just ask questions, raise hands. If you want to stop them during the middle of the class, just please raise hands, etc. I will be here, but I need to save my voice, okay? I appreciate it, Michael.
Awesome. Great. Thank you so much, William, for having me on, guys. Thank you so much for coming in here today. When William first approached me on this, he was like, hey, could you come in and talk to my guys? I was like, absolutely. I'd love to come in and talk about CTR. CTR is where it really is at, right? That's the game of ranking right now, what we have with ranking up in Google. That is the best way of getting up there. And for those that may not know, I know that I'm talking to a bunch of geniuses in here, but just in case you're thinking, what in the hell is CTR? It's click-through rate. So we'll just cover that, get that right out of the base. We're talking about CTR for short. That's your click-through rate. I know if I'm talking the basics here, just understand that this is a question that pops up a lot when I first introduce the tools. So when I first got started, I got started in video marketing, and that's really my background was video marketing. And I was looking at trying to get YouTube's ranked on Google. And one of the biggest problems was there was so much competition. And everybody was trying to rank a video. Everybody was trying to get up the very top. And I was trying to think, well, what is the best way of getting past everybody? You've tried the backlinks, you've tried the content. And then I thought, okay, CTR driving in traffic. You could go for micro workers, but that's a pain in the butt. You could try to use proxies, but let's just be honest, most proxies are burnt in Google. There's a couple of Google testers out there where you can throw proxies in. You can see if they're already been blacklisted or banned in Google. I highly recommend it if you do buy proxies. And just to go off on, without going off on a whole nother tangent here, if you're looking for a really good proxy, I recommend blazing proxies, but I don't recommend any type of proxies for doing CTR. The best way of doing CTR is with residential, real people, real computers. And that's what I've done with the Viper software. So what it is basically is crowdsourcing. So I have everybody download my Viper tool onto their computers, and I'll show you that in just a second. I'll turn around, share my screen with you very soon. And everybody in the Viper network, I have a couple of Viper members in here today. I see Brent, I see Drew Sohn. He's one of my Viper guys. I'm sure there's a couple of other people. Oh, Merlino down there in the bottom. Merlino, welcome. So a couple of my Viper guys are already in here watching it. So guys, thank you, welcome. So they download my tool, they install it, they put in a few things, and I'll show you that in just a moment, and they hit start, and that's it. And then you go into the portal, you submit your campaigns, and we'll talk about that. And the whole bot runs in the background, completely anonymous. You never hear it, you never see it, and it reacts and works as a human. So it looks just like a human. It sounds like a human to Google. I have a lot of code in there. It's hidden from Google, but it looks like a real human interaction. And that's really what ranks the property. So we have Video Traffic Viper. I'm going to cover the three tools: Video Traffic Viper, Google Traffic Viper, and then GMB Viper. And you may be thinking, well, why didn't you just create one tool? Well, the thing with that is there's so much code, there's so many different interactions that putting everything together, we just found it became a jumbled mess. So we put them in 3 separate entities, 3 separate tools, which ended up rolling out at different times. And so it's a really cool tool. And I'm gonna switch around here. I'm gonna share my screen with you in just a moment. Let me move this over to another window. Grab my portal. Okay, if you could let me know if you happen to see my window that says Viper Tools Portal, give me a 1 in chat, please. Okay, awesome. Awesome, perfect, thank you. Okay, perfect. So when you first come into the portal, you first look at the tool, you'll see 3 individual tools here. And we'll start out with Video Traffic Viper. I'm just going to pop this open. Okay, so you come into your dashboard. It's very basic. When I say basic, I tried to make it as clean as I could without confusing people inside the tool. You come in, you click on Add Campaign, and then you name your campaign. For this, we'll do William Test. Your category, you can add your own categories. Now, what I have for categories to let you understand the tool is if you're working with clients, one of the easiest ways, of course, dealing with clients is set up individual client names. So when you're going through your campaigns, you can sort easily based upon your client, and that just saves a lot of time. So for me, I'll just say Hydra Light. This is a channel I set up earlier. For your actual YouTube video, I'm gonna copy something over from another window here, and I'm gonna paste this in right here. Okay, so we have the watch URL in. The next thing, you have 4 different options. You have default, which searches in Google. So this is what the Viper bot does. It opens up a internal Google browser within the Viper tool, which you can actually see is going on down here, and I'll show you that in just a second. And it searches the first 5 pages of Google. If the video is not found, it clicks on YouTube, and then it searches the first 5 pages of YouTube. If the video is still not found in the first 5 pages of YouTube, then it will go directly to the video. And then it watches up to 10 minutes of the video. And after it gets done watching that video, it does the like, the subscribes, it adds the favorites, it saves it for later if that's an option that you have chosen within it. It'll click on links in the video description. You just put the links in here. It will generate comments. You just put your comments in here based upon your nested spin tags or regular spin tags. Put in your keywords. Like I said, the options like, subscribe, share, add the favorites, save for later, and auto run. That's a really great question, Javid. So yes, it is Selenium, and I know that people are worried that Google is tracking Selenium. We've heard that before. We've buried it very deep within our code. And from all of our testing, Google has not picked up on our Selenium-based browser within it. So I know that is a concern. I know that's a concern I brought up with my programmers when we built it, and we buried it as deep as we could. So yes, to answer your question, it is definitely in there, but no, we do not believe Google can find it. We have a lot of code in there that's hidden a lot of things from Google. And Google's very good. Google is very, very good at what they do. So we have all these great options. You can choose playback speed if you want. If you want it to go fast, slow, you can select that in there. The number of views to generate. So I could say, okay, I want to drive in 150 views. And then I want to choose my device, mobile, desktop, or random. I like to choose random. You can click on drip campaign, and you can say, okay, I want to have traffic come in from a specific time. Now you could say you could have traffic come in from 8 o'clock in the morning until 9 o'clock at night, or you could have traffic come in 24 hours a day. You can easily select your time zone over here that you want the traffic to come in by, and then you can select on your dates. So this is great. I love to drop my traffic in. I love to drip it in. I prefer dripping traffic in slow and natural to make it look, like I said, as natural as possible. A lot of people will get Viper and they'll come in. I see the campaigns and I'm like, oh my gosh. And they'll set up 1,000 views and they'll pop it in without a scheduler. And YouTube will get smashed. They'll get hammered by the Viper. It'll send in 1,000 views and I'll end up getting a complaint from them. Hey, I've only got, 150 views. I sent 1,000 in. And I'm like, well, why in the world did you do that? Their video got hammered. They're usually in the sandbox, meaning that they don't have many views on their channel overall. So Google has them in the Google sandbox. They're not, verified in Google's eyes. Maybe they're not phone verified on their channel at all. There's all these different factors that play into it. So I always tell people to take your number of searches, look in Google Planner, look at the number of keywords that you have being searched actually on Google for your particular videos, for your particular keywords, and then send in 20% of that traffic and drip it in. You do not need a lot of views when you're using CTR. Now, I want to repeat that again one more time. You do not need a lot of views to rank in CTR. When you're using CTR for video, it could be 80 views, it could be 100 views, it could be 150 views, even for major keywords. And I'm going to show you a major keyword here. I'm going to pull over incognito. I'm going to show you this right here. This is one of my channels, Yachts Deluxe here. And this is a video, Can You Feel the Love Tonight by Christine Morel. First off, let me ask you guys, if you could drop in the chat, do you happen to know who Chad Nicely is, the founder of Everlesson? If you do, drop a 1 in. If you don't know who he is, drop a 2 in. Okay, seeing a lot of 2s. Okay, all right, that's okay. So Chad is the founder of Everlesson. He owns this big mansion out in Las Vegas. And I happened to be watching Facebook about a month ago, and he had Christine Morel in his living room, and she was playing the piano. And Christine Morel is a top 10 X Factor singer, and she was taking requests. And I said, "Hey, I would like you to play me Can You Feel the Love Tonight?" I know, cheesy, I admit it. And she was like, "Sure." So she took my request, she started playing it, and I turned on my screen recorder and I started screen recording her because I had this idea. It was like, I wonder what I could do with the Viper. Now, when I boosted the video with Viper, I only sent in a few views. I did not send in a ton of views. Can You Feel the Love Tonight has a crazy amount of views up on YouTube. Vivo, like 60 million, maybe even higher than that. I haven't looked in a couple of weeks. Absolutely insane, the competition that people have up there. And so I was like, okay, so within 7 hours, I had her on page 1 of YouTube. 14 hours later, I had her top 5. 22 hours later, because I was screenshotting this for Chad, I had her number 3 on YouTube. I was outranking people with millions and millions and millions and millions of views. And so I decided to check tonight before the call. I was just curious. I've not sent any traffic into this video. Only has 364 views. And I did Can You Feel the Love Tonight cover. That was one of the keywords I went for. And you can see here, incognito, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 of page 1 of YouTube. And I have not boosted that video in weeks. I've not sent any traffic into this in weeks. And here she is, Yachts Deluxe, YouTube, page 1. If I had continued with sending some traffic in, I can guarantee I would have been a lot higher. But look at the crazy amount of views I'm beating out. 584,000, 3.8 million, 2.9 million, 1.1 million. I'm even above the Lion King video, but whatever. That's cool. So these are the other people up here. Connie Talbot, 38 million. And I'm up among millions with only 362 views on this video. So what I'm saying here is that as proof of that one video, you do not need a lot of traffic into your videos. Your videos will pop and they will blow everybody off the page. Let me ask you another question. Do you know Craig Campbell? If you know Craig Campbell, drop a 1 in the chat. Okay, got some yeses. If you don't, drop a 2 in. Okay, 1, there we go. All right, yep, okay. Everybody knows Craig Campbell. He's a great guy. So Craig is in the Viper. He uses Video Viper, and he reached out to me recently, and he was trying to beat out, oh gosh, there's a YouTube personality named Brian. Oh, I cannot think of this guy's name. I'm sorry, I'm having a brain fart now, but it's a big YouTube guy, big SEO, possibly a black hatter. I'm not too sure on that, but he's a big SEO guy named Brian. Can't think of it. Brian May. I don't think it was May, but it wasn't Chris Palmer. It was a Brian guy. But anyways, he was trying to beat him out. So I was like, okay, let me take a look. So I took a look at his video. I was like, send in these views, do this, and this is how you SEO it, and you can blow him off the page. And Craig did. Absolutely blew this guy off the page. He was like, oh man, he got like number 2 on YouTube for a super hard competition keyword. And he only sent in a few hundred CTR Viper traffic. which was really cool. So I always love to always get excited. If you see me getting that weird smile on my face, my guys know it. They recognize it. It's like a little evil grin. That's how I feel when I start ranking properties and I start seeing successes from it. I'll get this huge grin on my face. So it's a typical Michael Bose, let's rank the living daylights out of whatever we can. So there's a lot that you can do. This is super simple tool. I'm going to go down and show you what the actual Hydra looks like. And the Hydra contains 3 tools: Video Viper, Google Traffic Viper, and Google My Business Viper. Depending on if you join us today, if you jump in on the Viper, which we'll talk about later, but if you do, you'll have access to one or all of these tools. It depends on what you decide to do, but super simple. You just start up the Hydra Viper and you click start, start, start. And down here at the bottom, hidden away on your taskbar, what in the world? Homer Simpson. Well, I'm gonna have to look at this. Okay, so that video's already passed. So someone's on Raleigh house paintings here. I saw Homer. I was like, that's pretty funny. So someone's video is being watched there. We have a palm tree removal, Broward County, Florida. That's probably Florida right there. Looks like a GMB. And here's one in French. And that is a website search going on in French. Let me see. Actually, that may be the GMB going in here. So yeah. So we have that running in the background and it totally runs down. You don't see anything. You don't hear anything. It's a super fast tool and you can see I update it all the time. I've got updates constantly rolling out for this. So you just hit start, start, start. I like to minimize the tool. It runs entirely down here. The reason why I have 3 windows down at the bottom is I found in a recent Google update that hidden windows views are not counted in Google. They started taking away views on YouTube, total hidden. They were completely hidden before. And we discovered that. So now we make them unhidden and they just minimize to the taskbar and it runs there. It does all of its magic, which is really cool. Okay, so this is Video Viper. In here, you can look at your stats. You can look at your campaigns. So you can see how many views you're getting in here. You can go into your campaigns. You can sort by your particular campaigns that you've set up. You can see how many views. You can clone. You can rerun. You can activate, deactivate, delete. It's very simple, very intuitive. And one other thing, it tracks all of your credits. So this is a credit-based system. With the Vipers, you can run 5 campaigns at the same time on the Viper. That doesn't mean 5 campaigns for the whole month. You could pause a campaign, set up a new campaign, switch between campaigns. I've had a Viper user tell me that she managed 50 clients a month. I was like, how in the world did you do that? And she was like, I just set up a bunch of different campaigns and I would pause, unpause, pause, unpause. She was going between days and she was running a lot of clients through the regular Viper system and doing this. So on each tool, it's 5 campaigns at the same time. But again, you can pause, select, do all sorts of great stuff in there, and you run multiple tools. So we'll pop out of this real quick, and we'll go over to the portal again. But before I switch back, I'm going to pull back over incognito here, and I'm going to show you something else. This is what the Viper does. If you go to YouTube, incognito if you want, type in free YouTube views. And you can see I'm right here. Now I'm fighting between this Gallagher guy. So my video keeps popping in between him. Yas Deluxe sometimes is above him, sometimes it's right below him. But you can see this video right here for me, free YouTube views, outranking everybody on here. Now what I did is originally I sent in 800 views. There were a ton of views for this video. I sent in a lot of competition. Like I said, Gallagher with 68,000 views was top dog. There were a lot of other people up here with a lot of views on their channel, and I blew them off the page. So it's great for ranking videos. If you're doing Video Viper, if you're wanting to rank videos, outrank your competition, this tool will slay it. And it's great. And you can see those particular views there and where I'm ranking. The next thing I'm going to go over to is the Google Traffic Viper. Exact same type of setup within here. Drew, I see you right here, buddy. I see you in the group. You're on the leaderboard, man. You provided a lot of views. That's funny. I didn't see you at the top. That's cool. So when you add a campaign in here for the actual Google, now Google Traffic Viper is targeted towards websites, blogs, any type of URL that you want to rank outside of GMBs. You can do Google My Map. So if you want to rank a Google My Map, you can totally pop it in there. Yeah, I drew exactly all for the network. And there's a lot of different options in here. So let's just go ahead and we'll do a quick run through here. We'll type in Google test for the campaign. Category, just leave it as uncategorized, or you could add in actually any category that you want. We'll just leave it uncategorized here. Website URL, let's put in http google.com. Okay, now there's two different options here, and this actually has a lot more, but there's two particular things that you can do here. If you leave it just like this, it'll search, again, first 5 pages of Google. If not found, then it goes directly to the website if it cannot be found for the keywords you've selected. But there's another option here called the direct non-search traffic. And if you want to bypass Google search, you can send traffic directly to a page. And you may be asking, well, why would I ever send directly to a page? Well, there's a lot of different things you can do with the Google Traffic Viper. And one of them is if you click right here on this little hidden button, it'll open up a bunch of recipes that are built into the Google Traffic Viper. And these particular recipes is you can send in Twitter, you can send in Google Docs traffic, Google Images, Google Sites, Yelp listings, video embeds, Tumblrs, Amazon products. I have a lot of people on Amazon pushing stuff. Jared, yeah, Google GMB posts. I actually heard that right when I came in. I heard someone talking about GMB post. You can send it directly to GMB post. And if you have a video embedded on that GMB post, it'll watch the video embed, which is really cool. Same thing for Twitter. It will watch the YouTube video if you have in there. It'll click on the link within Twitter and go to that particular property for a certain amount of time. Google Maps, it'll click on the Google My Map. It'll go in there. It'll randomly click around, maybe click on a POI or a video embed or something like that. Same thing with Tumblr. It'll watch on the Tumblr. It'll watch embeds. It's really cool. I'm actually getting ready to add something in here even deeper. And my guys and I were talking about this week or last week. I think it was this week. Drew and Brent would know. It's going to be called even more on like the Google recipes. And we'll drive it even further down to where you could set up to 10 hops within the system of, okay, I want it to click this link. I want it to do this on this link. I want it to go there, to there, to there, to there, to there. And the thinking is that if you have a tiered link structure, like a Money Robot, if you use that, or if you have a IFTTT network or something like that, that you have set up that you want it to do a specific recipe, you could say, okay, I want it to go from tier 6 to tier 1, click my main website. I want it to click this link within there. Is going to be awesome. So we've got this really deep recipe structure coming, but we're not going to go into that right now. The next thing that you have is the geolocation options. Now, this is a little bit different than Video Viper. So you have two different options: country, state, city, or latitude, longitude. And I got to tell you, latitude, longitude is just so much more accurate. You can really drive the traffic. So let's say that you have a landscaper in the middle of Washington, D.C., because I'm in Northern Virginia. I'm just going to claim that one right here. So right smack dab next to the Capitol, and you have a landscaping business. And you want to drive traffic in from a 10-mile radius for landscaping. You drop that latitude, longitude for your business, and it will drill it down traffic within 10 feet of that particular latitude, longitude. So what I'm saying is you'll really target your business. And within 10 miles, you'll get traffic coming in, local searches. And it doesn't matter where the people are. Like if I choose on my GMB or on my website here and I say, okay, I want to drive traffic into a small restaurant in Sicily, I can put that in there, put in the latitude, longitude for that small restaurant, say 10 miles, 20 miles, 100 miles, and all that traffic will be coming from that very particular location. And this works amazingly. It's really cool. It's really, really cool. So we have all local IPs, a great emulator within the system, and it makes it look exactly where it's coming from. And if it's on a mobile device, desktop device, doesn't really matter. It drives all that local traffic in, which is great for ranking. So that's cool. You have your search keywords, number of searches, and then the minimum time on the website. I like to say keep it decent. If you do put this in, don't put it on 20 minutes. I've seen some people put it in for an hour. I'm like, are you kidding me? Google is not going to like you being on a website for a particular hour, at least in my opinion. Make it look natural. A person comes in, they go into the website. You could say, okay, I want them to spend 4 minutes on my website. Now, if you have a 5-page website and you have 4 minutes, it's going to be what, about 45 seconds per page. So what is it going to do? First thing, it's going to find you in Google. It's going to do 3 things before it finds your website. When it's searching for you, let's say that you're on page 2. It's going to go on page 1 and it's going to find the first search, your competition, and it's going to click on their website, and then it's going to bounce out. It's going to do the search again. It's going to find the next link, click on their website, and then it's going to bounce out. And then the third time, it's going to go down, find your link for the particular keyword, click on your link, and then visit your website. So it's going to do 2 different bounce outs before it finds you. So it's going to tell Google, okay, it was looking, this person was searching for this particular area. They found 2 sites, they didn't like it. They found your site, they liked it for your keyword. Then it's going to go into your particular site. It's going to start out with the homepage. If there's a video on homepage, I'll watch that embedded video. And then it's going to do a lot of different interactions. The mouse is going to move around like a normal person. It's going to scroll down through your pages. We have an update coming out very soon called Happy Signals. Don't ask me what that is because I'm not going to tell you, but it's really cool. It's really cool. Things that people do on websites that I've discovered that whenever someone's satisfied, they do certain things with their mouse. And I call it Happy Signals. So I'm having the programmers put that in, and it's going to be some cool little interactions with the site that just tells Google, hey, this is a happy customer. This is a happy person. Within the site structure. So that's pretty neat. So it goes to the home page, goes through all of your individual pages, and then the last page is your contact us page. And it spends time on there, and it will click around on the page, and it'll look like it's, sending in contact, or it's calling your phone number or something like that. So it goes through, sends all the right signals to Google, and then it bounces out of your site. It leaves your site after that particular time. If there's specific pages that you want it to go to, you could pop this in and say, okay, I want it to go to these specific URLs on my page. If there's a URL blacklist, you don't want it to click on your sitemap, you could put it right here, and it will not click on your sitemap. It will not click on a particular page you don't want it to go to. Just drop it into the URL blacklist. Next option is the drip campaign. This one I like to leave just like this between 12 a.m. and 11:59 p.m. Put in your time zone, and then you'll get traffic 24/7. If you want traffic on a very specific time, you could totally set that up. Set up your calendar, same thing. Hit submit campaign, and it goes right in. The Mach 25 is an option only for myself. Only I can use it, so it's something that I see on my end. You will not be able to click that. It's just an admin, option. So that's cool. Make this campaign evergreen. This is an option that I don't recommend using just yet. It's under repair, but once we get that updated with the latest update, you could click that, and basically what would happen is after the campaign's done, let's say you have it run for 2 weeks, it would automatically throw it back in, and it would start driving that traffic again. So that's going to be that option. Your campaigns, you can see all of your campaigns by clicking on the campaign page. You'll very soon be able to have, the updated right here showing you how many visits, how many videos it watched, how many executions, that's how many visits it tried to create. You can see I was setting up some tests for my programmers here between the Mach 25 and the regular search on scheduled or direct. So you can rerun, you can hit edit, you can mass delete, you can clone, you can do it by anything that you want on your categories. It's a really slick software. It's a really slick bot here. So that's really cool. So we'll bop out of this and we'll go into our last place, which is the Google My Business page. And let's just ask everybody, if you're trying to rank a GMB, which everybody and their brother is, drop a 1 in. I want to see how many people are trying to rank their GMBs. I mean, we are in a GMB group here, right? That's kind of a dumb question. We're in a GMB group. Okay, everybody, there is no try. Exactly, William. That's what I'm talking about. Merlino's giving me a big smiley face like, Mike, I'm sure I'll get something on Skype after the call. That's great. Okay, so here we are on the leaderboard. You'll probably see some familiar names up here. If you guys know who Bradley Benner is, he's a super SEO guy. So, yep, he's in here. Gee whiz, look at that. 16,000 views. Holy moly, Bradley. That's great. Dave up here, Scott. Yo, Merlino, where are you at, man? Where are you on the leaderboard? What's going on? Unbelievable. All right, so Merlino's going to bust my chops after the call, like I said. Okay, so we'll go over the ad campaign. And this is a little bit different on the setup. Just pop in your campaign name. Leave it as uncategorized. Your website URL is the website URL on the GMB, because this is how the bot determines it. This is how the bot finds your GMB. Okay, so it's the actual URL on your GMB listing, not your GMB URL, not that long URL for the GMB. It's the actual website that says, hey, this is my client site or your website or whatnot. So that's how it finds it. It looks for your phone number, so you can pop your phone number in here. You put your business name of your GMB in here, the number of visitors that you want to drive in. And again, I do not recommend anything more than 20% of traffic of your total search volume. And I'm actually going to invite Brent up here in just a moment. Once I stop sharing the screen, we'll switch it over and invite Brent on, because Brent is one of my big GMB guys. And I know that y'all know Brent, I'm sure. He's done amazing things with the GMB Viper. And like I said, I'll switch over to him in just a minute. But I don't recommend more than 20% of your total search volume, unless, there are cases that you're running ads or something like that, and you may get a burst of traffic. A lot of my guys are testing different things out, but I like to play it safe. So I always say, keep it low. So let's say you want to drive 100 visits over 30 days. That's perfectly fine, depending on your niche, of course. Your search keywords, pop your keywords in here. Minimum time on the website, again, 4 minutes, 5 minutes, however long you want to put in there. I recommend making it look like a normal user. If you have a 2-page website and they spend 15 minutes, they got a problem. Unless you've got a lot of really interesting content, on a site and the average time that people spend on there. So you don't want to put in too much, but just enough that looks totally legit in Google's eyes. Now, what it will do is when it searches for your GMB, there's actually a new option coming out, and I spoke with my programmers right before the call. We had a chit chat on updates and whatnot, and they were asking, what happens on certain things. Okay, so first thing, it's searching for your keyword. So it goes to Google, it types in your keyword, and it looks into the 3-pack, clicks on more, and it starts searching down through the GMBs. And if it doesn't find your GMB, before, it would get kind of lost, and it would search and search and search and search and search. And we were finding that it wasn't finding for certain people if they had the wrong keywords in, or if they didn't have it named correctly, or they had the wrong URL on the GMB. It was sometimes coming up as a failed search. Well, I like to call it ghost searches. It was saying that they were receiving 150 views, but it wasn't actually driving traffic. And the reason being is they didn't have it set up correctly. So what we've decided to do is we're going to put another option in here. It'll probably be right below the website URL. It'll say GMB URL. It'll be mandatory. So people will put their GMB URL in there, and if it cannot find your URL, it'll go directly to the GMB URL, the share URL, whichever URL you want to put in there for the particular direct GMB. So that's something we have coming out in the future, and that will just really help the network even more. Again, getting you the right views, etc. But hopefully it'll find it for everybody. It's very important that people put their website URL and their business name correct in here for the bot to be able to find it. I don't see it very often. I don't see it get lost very often. But once it goes in, once it finds your GMB, it's going to open it up, and it's going to look at your GMB. First thing that it's going to do is it's going to scroll down and it'll look at your reviews. So we'll go through your reviews. Then it's going to create directions, driving directions from that particular location. So let's say that you're doing a particular city like Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and you're doing a 10-mile radius. It's going to pull somewhere within that 10-mile radius, and it's going to create driving directions to your business, which is cool. Once it gets done with doing the driving directions, it's going to go back down, look at your reviews again, look like an interested person. Hey, okay, this is where they are. Here's where this is. Then it's going to click on your phone number, your business phone number. It's not going to make an actual phone call. We don't have a phone, application within there, but it's going to click it into Google. That's a great signal that, hey, they clicked the phone, direct the call. That's a really great signal right there. So it's going to do click the call. It's going to go back down. It's going to look at your pictures again, like it's a really interested person. They've created directions. They've clicked a call. They've looked at reviews. It's going to go down, look at any images you have on there. And then it's going to scroll back up to the top of the GMB, and it's going to click on your website. And then it's going to go to the website for, say, 5 minutes. And it's going to search through that website for 5 minutes, doing all of its wonderful things. And then it's going to leave the website. And that is what the GMB Viper does. And that is how it ranks on the GMBs, which is very efficient, does a really great job. And I'll show you this right here. This was one of my guys. He just got GMB Viper. He didn't get any of the other tools. He got GMB Viper, let's see here, about February 15th, I believe, is actually when he purchased it. And he's in France. Okay, so this was Alex. I'm going to mute this out, and I'm going to speed the video up. Just give you guys a little play here. And let's go to 1.75. Okay, so position 216. He was looking for his GMB. And let's see where it was. Okay, so it shows he's definitely in Mulhouse, France here. 216. Took screenshots ahead of time. I love it when my guys are really particular. Okay, it goes up. Didn't find his GMB. 9 days later, same search. He's in incognito window. Definitely looking in the location. 225. I love seeing rankings like this. This is great. And there he is. And Alex ranked 9 days. And he told me it was the first time, it was the first time that he had ever ranked a GMB before. And he's tried for a long time. He said a long time, well over a year. And he's tried and tried and tried, and he's tried all sorts of different things. And he was never able, unfortunately, to get a GMB to rank. And he got GMB Viper, followed exact instructions, sent in the traffic, targeted right from his location, and he pushed it to page 3 pack right here, page 1. And I did it in 9 days, which was awesome. I'm going to switch over to my desktop. I think I'm still sharing. You guys can see my desktop, right? If you can, drop a 1 in, give me a thumbs up. Okay, cool. Thank you, Drew. Yep. Here's a couple of other testimonials. This was Matt Bush. I don't know if you guys know Matt. He's a great internet marketer. And he ranked number 2 for web design. And this was on GMB. Had to blur out a lot. He didn't want his information shared. I really had to pry this out of him, like with a crowbar, literally, to get this information out of him. And he did this in 1 week. Again, he ranked number 2. He did all the right things within the Viper and shot this up. He said, no, he'd never ranked this fast. He said it was on page 2. It was city population, 80,000 people, not a top 10 city, but he pushed it right up there, which was awesome. That was really awesome. Here's another great guy, Dave. And Dave was saying he's always super critical. Let's just be honest. When people tell you they can get you page 1, it's usually a lot of bullshit. Excuse my French. Hate to curse on a live call here, but it is a lot of BS from people. I get it. Internet marketers tend to lie a lot. I'm just being honest here. You see a lot of people lie to try to sell a product. And he got in my product, and I loved seeing, again, testimonials like this come in. And he absolutely ranked it. So he was totally excited for this. Blew it out of the water on his video ranking. And now he's in the GMB and organic. He's been doing really good things. Been seeing that. This, I'm not going to say anything on this. I'm just going to say this was another person here. I'm not going to say their name. But yeah, they were very excited. Vid's number 1, insane. Wrapped their head around it. They couldn't believe how fast they got up here, which was really cool. And let's see here. Yep, there I am. I was talking about the Elton John video, 320 views. Number 3. Okay, so that was cool. All right. Here's another guy, Sterling Hall. Now, this was for video. Sterling is an amazing dude. He's always out raking people. He's down here in Durham, North Carolina. So I love Sterling, and he blew it out of the water, incognito there. This is actually by Brent. So Brent, sorry to bomb you here. This was Brent right here. And I'll turn it over to Brent in just a minute. He was absolutely slaying this ranking. So he's doing a great job. And again, here's Brent, and I'll let Brent talk about this again. This is one of his GMBs that he did, and you can see how fast they jumped. This was in a week, I believe, you guys, ranking in a week. And look how fast these jumps are. 55 spots to number 2 into the 3-pack. 29 spots, 44 spots, 20 spots, 36 spots, 48 spots. He was number 51. And he went right into the 3-pack. Amazing, amazing stuff using this. So that was a really great one. This is Alex again. This is the guy. This was the actual email. I took a screenshot of it. So this was the email of the guy that sent me the French video. And you can see it right here. He was not in the 3-pack. Very difficult, most difficult niche, he said. And he did it in 9 days. So that was really awesome. So again, I love to see people ranking. I love to see the ranks come in and all the products working, everything like that. So GMBs work. We know that they work for getting people, and GMB Viper is a great addition to that of driving traffic up. Google Viper is doing great for for Google ranking, and the Video Viper is doing great for video ranking. CTR is the way that you want to do this. And whether you jump on the Viper or not, I just want you to take away that whatever you do your SEOing correctly, especially on video. If you do video SEO, the living daylights out of your product. One of my recommendations is create hashtags, at least 3 hashtags, put them into your video description. I like to also hashtag the title. And what you'll want to do is when you do hashtags on video, just a little tip for the video marketers out there, look at the search by hashtag in the last week for the videos that have the most views for your particular niche. And if they've hashtagged a certain hashtag and they're ranking up in YouTube, and let's say in the last week, they've gotten 1 million views, take those hashtags and put them into your video, because what's going to end up happening in your video description is you're going to start showing up as related videos to these big guys that have millions and millions of views. So make sure you use hashtags correctly. There's a lot of other tips I could tell you, but we'll leave it on the back end of the Video Viper. Using the GMB Viper, CTR again. CTR is super, super important. And same thing for Google. Make sure that you drive in your CTR. CTR is working great, but I'm not against backlinks either. I'm all for backlinks, and there's a lot of different ways you can do that. But I'm going to turn this over real quick to Brent. So I'm going to mute myself out here, Brent. And if you don't mind jumping up here and sharing with the guys, that'd be great.
Hey, how's everyone doing? Thanks for having us. I'm more of a answer question guys than to stand up here in grandstands. So you did see my rankings. You know that I guess I'll start with every guy in the world is talking about CTR right now, and they're all telling you all the ways to do it that are so not sustainable. Buying domains 301 to your product, or buy YouTube ads and drive it to where you want to drive it. But think about this: if you take nothing away, take this thought. You have your entity on your GMB, and you have your top competitor, the first person in the first place. I don't care if you're 5th, 2nd, 3rd. Take that guy, open up a Google map, and take directions from his building, his GMB, to your GMB. Take the URL out of the top, cut all the end crap off of it, and drive traffic to that with this tool. And you are telling Google that you drove to someone's business, didn't get the product, looked on your phone, got the product, and went there. And then the GMB Viper sits on it and then hits the call or gets driving directions. It's insane. Like, you're mimicking a real person. And I mean, there's more than just that entity that you guys saw. I think I gave Michael 2 or 3. I have a roofing site that did the same thing. The screenshot that I gave him doesn't show the dramatic climb because I took it after the fact, but it's working for multiple sites. I have 5 sites, all of them with at least 15 main keywords ranking in GMBs. You can't rank a GMB without a solid entity in front of it. You need support content, which means you need to have a website, which I know you guys talk about all the time in this group. And William's system is really, really good for setting up how a website is, and that's your support system. And then you have a GMB on the side of it. I try to do things maybe a little bit differently than you guys. I use the your main category as your home link on your website. It's another tip you can try. And then mimic your drop down from that to all your different GMB categories. Your service page links can all be different, but it silos it up very similar to what the GMB silo is. And then when you drive this kind of traffic in, all of that lines up and it just starts to loop, and everything's an entity and anything works with itself and pushes it in. You can listen to Chris Palmer, brilliant guy. Craig Campbell, brilliant guy. Those guys are talking about CTR. Holly Stark, again, talking about CTR, but they can't give you how to get it. There's one of two reasons. Either they don't want to give it up, and I know Craig's a part of this group, so he may not want to give it up. And I think Chris is coming out with a tool. So, I mean, he's not talking about it, but he knows about this tool too. But this is an opportunity for you guys to actually get to drive traffic where you want. And I know I answer a lot of questions in a lot of different GMB groups, and everybody wants the quick method. They want to know how to do it. And everybody will give them the method, but none of it works without traffic. Traffic is the key. Like in the real world, if you had a perfect entity, you would have people going to it. And we all know our websites work really well. When people go to them, they start to climb because that's what people want. That means Google's trying to give them what they have. Now you got a GMB that you can actually give traffic to, boost it up. Then you get natural traffic. Then it never comes down. And the other really cool thing is that Google's always going to play with your GMB. So you will bump from second down to 20. I mean, I can show you my back end. You'll bounce from, second, third down to 20. But if you take this tool and drive traffic right at that, the day it bounces down, within 24 hours, it's back.
Can you show them the one where it had dropped down to like 14 and then you sit in the traffic and then it jumped back up to number 1?
Yeah, I'm on the wrong computer, so I apologize. Okay. But I would gladly come in.
He was basically the other day, because Brent, someone else, he's another one of my partners, and we have talks together at least once, twice a week. And he had one of his keywords rankings drop down to page, it's number 14, so it's like not even seen in the top 10. He ran, I think, 100 views it was to his listing via the Viper. And within one day, he was back at the top. So, and guys know me, I wouldn't even bring anybody in here to talk about this stuff if I didn't know. Chris and them are not going to talk about it and tell you. They'll tell you how to do it. And, but you just have to be very technical, very savvy. And with the way Michael and Brent and everybody has it set up, it's just set it up, push the button, and it goes. I mean, it's really simple. So. But go ahead, you guys. I just wanted to drop that in because me and Brent had talked about that the other day.
Yeah, again, if anyone's got questions, I much rather answer questions so you guys get to understand what you want to know instead of what I think you want to know. So if Michael's okay, we can open up questions, or did you have anything else you wanted to talk about, Michael?
Absolutely. Definitely open up questions. One quick answer here to Javida, hopefully I'm pronouncing your name. I'm terrible at names, by the way. My guys know this. I murder names all the time. You see Brent smiling. He knows it. I murder names all the time. So if I mispronounce your name, I apologize profusely, but it's just built into my code, and I cannot go against the designer. Javid. Okay, so Javid. Yeah. So yes, so we actually have a major mobile network, and I didn't actually mention that. Thank you for reminding me. On the back end, actually, when I said Mach 25 and I said that's an admin only, option, that's what the Mach 25 network is. Now, for the nerds out there, if you're wondering what Mach 25 is, I'm sorry, but like my guys know, I'm a total geek. I'm a nerd, I admit it. Mach 25 is the speed the space shuttle makes when it re-enters the Earth's atmosphere. So it's like 9,000 meters a second. I know, nerd topic. Totally unrelated to everything that we're doing here. But the Mach 25 network has over 100 VPSs that are running on mobile phones. And each of those networks are running 3 threads. one thread per Google Viper, Video Viper, and GMB Viper. So that network can provide about 1.6 million mobile views per month. And that's a separate network that's part of the Viper network. So for example, without boring you to death, let's say that everybody in the Viper network already has a campaign. So the way the Viper network works, if you want to think about Area 51 alien ships, don't ask me why, X-Files, again, nerd. You have the mothership, and then you have everybody that has installed the Vipers on their computer. So it's randomly sending out from the mothership, from the main Hydra, to all the little Hydra installs, the different campaigns. And if everybody's computer is filled up at that moment for campaigns, then the overflow goes into the Mach 25, and they get fulfilled over there. And it ends up a great mix between the desktop and between the mobile network. So you're getting views coming in from all different browsers, all different mobile devices, different sizes. And even within the desktop, we have the emulators built into the mobile Hydras built in within the Hydra desktop version. So occasionally, if you look at the bottom and you hover your mouse over one of the little browsers, you'll see a different shape. And it's because it's emulating a particular phone, a particular tablet, a different browser, or something like that. So we have a built-in emulator, again, extremely hidden within there, within Google. Before, what we did is we removed over 1,000 trackers in Google. Programmers removed over 1,000 different ways that Google was tracking us. And then we ended up saying, you know what, we made it too clean. We're going to pop 100 trackers back in. And we found when we popped some of those things back in, we leaked a little bit more. It just went crazy with ranking and went crazy with the Viper. So one of the things, if you're using Video Viper, you can put in Google accounts. And what happens is the account stays logged in and it creates a history. And every 3 days, the whole Viper network does a switch. And it takes a history that we've built into the back end on our side, and it passes a new history out to an individual Viper every 3 days. And so we're tracking and we're creating our own tracking within, and we're creating this whole network of profiles. We're not using your Google accounts, we're not using your history, but we're using our own. And we're tracking different things. We're putting different things in it. It's awesome the way it works. So everything is automated, just switches every 3 days. And we're constantly, every time Google makes a change, we're 3 steps ahead. And that's the plan. That's how I plan on keeping it. So there's constant updates. And I know sometimes my guys are like, another update. Come on, Michael, it's the 3rd one today. But again, I don't update that often. But whenever I need to make a change, I'll make a change. And we update the tools. And we're just making changes to keep ahead of Google. So yeah.
Sorry, another question. At any given time, are you able to tell how many people are using your tool, just to give a wide variety of like how many people or devices are out there that people can use their IPs and stuff like that?
That's a really good question. I don't have those numbers on hand, but I would say it's well over between the Viper group. Let's see here. We have, I'd say we probably have between 400 and 600 devices on the regular members outside of the Mach 25 network.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. And we're actually going to be expanding that even more because I've got another tool that I've released free on YouTube that when people download it, it's providing 3 threads to the Viper network. And what they see on the front is different than, they don't know that it's providing real views to the Viper network. So I've got little bots out there that people are downloading for free, doing little things for them, and they don't realize on the back end it's providing CTR for the Viper network. So we've got other things out there with more plans for a lot more. If I can get that spread out, I am hoping to add another 5,000 to 10,000 IPs with devices.
Okay.
And
you had some other boxes on that dashboard, the main dashboard, coming soon or something like that. What were those? Sorry, I like to look at everything and quickly pick up what I can. So.
That's okay. That's good. Yes, those are tools that I have planned to be made. Brent has got this huge smile over there, Cheshire Cat smile. Yeah, those are tools that are not made yet, but they're definitely in the pipeline. Like I've got a lot of Viper tools outside of these 3. And we're just focusing on these 3 today, but I've got more plans in my mind. I probably drive my members crazy because I'm constantly, okay, guys, let's create this tool. Let's create that tool. Probably per year, I create between 7 and 10 tools per year.
Oh, perfect.
And
Thank you.
yeah, definitely. So those are coming soon. Like on the actual Hydra, if you noticed, there was a 4th spot and it says coming soon. And to be perfectly honest with you, that was going to be a live stream Viper. And the code is about 72% done. And I told the programmers, hold off, let's focus here. And they're like, if you lived close to us, we would firebomb your house. So I've got live stream Viper about 72% done. And I've sent them over here to work on this. And then I'm updating this and they're updating that. And I've got a team of 7 programmers and they're probably all gray haired right now. And they're probably wanting to kill me because I've got a million ideas. So let's do this. Let's change this. Let's add this in here. And Brent knows what I'm talking about. I always joke about my poor programming team. But yeah, that's something in the future. Those are future ideas. Good question. Okay, let me see if there's other questions that I may have missed, and then I'll have Brent jump up here again. Okay. Yep. Okay, Gary says, I've done both Holly CTR and Chris's CTR and both worked well for me. However, had to do all of the tech setup and daily CTR actions myself. It does not take long before it's taking up all of your time and you cannot get anything else done just from watching a Zoom call. This blows everything away. Takes care of all the techie stuff and the daily labor. Yeah, wow. Can you take my money? Hey, we love hearing that, Gary. And I get it. You know, one of the things that I do whenever I create my tool is I have an older Viper member. And when I say older, they're up there. They're not ancient, but he's 85 years old and he still works. And I love my older Viper members. So he's 85, still works. He does video marketing and has, side projects. And what I do is whenever I create a tool, I send it out to members like that. And I say, hey, figure this out. And I don't give them any instructions, no videos. Here's a new tool. I want you to figure it out. And he'll reply back, hey, make this, make that, make this, make that, a little change here and there. And then I take someone that hasn't ever used it before. And again, they give me critique. So after a while, whenever I create my tools, I try to make them as simple as I can and as fast as I can. So I've timed myself now. I was moving fast and I'd had quite a few cans of Coke. So I do admit that. And it took me about 58 seconds to create a campaign, the fastest I could move. So I was moving really quick on a campaign. So you can set up a campaign in under a minute. I can say I did it. Yes, probably with a whole case of Coke and shaking fingers, but I was moving fast, right? And I just set up a campaign really quick. Brock's like, this guy is crazy. I get it, Brock. It's okay. But, so just go in there. You can create campaigns easily and you just hit run. You just hit submit. And I try to make my tools as easy as I can. Set up a tool, install the tool, hit run. I mean, you guys got businesses to run and you don't have time to sit there for, like you said, 3 days, 3 hours, 12 hours. These things add up and who needs it? Who needs it? Jeff said, there's hope for me at 73. Jeff, I had a great aunt pass away this year, unfortunately. She was 96 years old when she died. And I got to tell you, I went and I visited her several years ago when she was 91. And I walked into her house. And as soon as I walked through the door, she was, French, down in Baton Rouge. And she was like, Michael, here's my Wi-Fi password. I was like, huh? 91-year-old. And she had 3 computers. She had laptops, she had tablets, she had set up her own wireless internet. That woman was on the ball. She was on the ball. She had all of her marbles and more. She had more marbles than I did at that time. So it was great. So age knows no excellence. Okay. It doesn't matter what your age is. Anybody can do these things. So yeah, I think you'll be just fine. Okay, Marson, how much does it cost? How can I sign up? William, do you have the links or do you want me to drop the links in for you? I'm not sure if you dropped them in yet or if you want me to post them for you. If you had them in a special place, let me know.
You could drop them in if you want. I'm going to also send out an email list with it. And it'll also be in the back end of the course.
Okay.
So because I put all that information back there, so if they ever ask again, they can always go to it, because we're going to be covering CTR. I'm taking 2 weeks, basically 2 weeks off. And then when I get back, I'm going to be hitting CTR, G-Stacks, Cloud Stacks hard.
Okay. All right. So here's 3 individual links. They are all on the same page. You have Video Viper. You have Tri Viper. 3 Vipers in one. Trio Viper, maybe? Whatever. Okay. You have GMB Viper. So we have 3 individual links here. I'll just drop them in. And these are all of William's backlinks. And if you decide, if you click on the page, it should work for all of them. But if you do purchase, it'll ask you at the thank you page to email me. I've got to set up each account individually at the moment, manually, I should say. My programming side is set up on an older pay kickstart system, not the new one. So unfortunately, it's a manual setup. So when you do email me, just say, hey, I'm with William, and I can just make sure that he's, everybody that purchases through him are applied to him. So just make sure you guys do that in the receipt that you send to me when you get this, if you decide to jump in. So there's those 3 individual links. You have the Video Viper, the GMB Viper, or the combo, which is all 3. Credits for the combo is 750 credits that you can get in there. Harley, let's see here. What type of support do you provide? Is this for beginner? Absolutely. We have all sorts of different levels in here. We have complete noobs and we have experts. There's all certain different kinds of levels. It's a very in-depth training.
And then on top of it, you also offer the group too.
Yes, we have
you get the private Facebook group as well, in which people are always asking questions and always having answers. It's not just access to Michael. You got access to Brett and everybody else in there that have used it and have different methods in testing. Like y'all know as well, I don't like people just to say, oh, this doesn't work. Well, have you tested it? All these people test. And some of them might even have been in your industry. They might have done pressure washing, and hey, they're not in your area. So they're like, shit, I'll help you, versus I don't want to help you because you're in my area. No, you're a part of the team. So that's
exactly.
That's the other big difference. You're not going to get with, no one else. They're not going to tell you. They're not going to sit there and be like, if you go into the other groups I'm in with the CTR, you'll see their names in the group, but they'll never tell you exactly what they're using.
Sorry, I had one more question. I'm looking at those links that Michael just shared. Can you talk a little bit more on the credits part? How does that work? Like, does one task means 1 credit, or there's different credits for each particular task?
That's a really good question. I'm gonna go ahead and switch around my screen here, and I think the best way is to show you here. So let me go back to campaigns real quick. I'm gonna share my screen in just a moment. Actually, I just backed out. Doggone it. Let me go back over here to screen number 2. Sorry, I've got 3 different windows here, so I gotta make sure I'm on the right one. You guys don't want to see.
And can I insert something here? Because Harley,
absolutely,
she's a small business owner too, and she's newbie, fresh, everything. Like, let me put it this way: normally, you're talking about, will he help you, or will he, assist you? What type of customer support? And this is nothing against Michael or Brent, but I'm just telling you, for example, I have never had a software where this man is fucking up at 4 a.m. I remember when I found this software, it's at 3 a.m. and you know me, I practically don't sleep. I'm sitting here typing him and I'm like, he ain't going to answer me. He messages me back. I'm like, number one, I go, what the fuck are you doing up? No one's up when I'm up. And he's up. He goes to sleep at like 5 a.m. He's in the U.S. and then he's back up again. Brent's the same way. We've had calls at 4 and 5 o'clock in the morning because I have a question. Hey, what about this or what about that? And I'm a super techie guy, and they help me even. So, and I've heard a lot of people, like most people, to say, well, this works or this CTR. And I'm very skeptical of most things. So when I talked to Michael and he showed me this and he showed me different things and he showed me how it works and I tested it and seen it, I was like, shit, I mean, you know, this is like, because I'll tell you one example. I could show you one example if I wanted to, but I'll probably do another class. One of the things I've been testing, everybody went, why do you got this GMB verification video on your website, on your thing? It's not about GMB verification. And I kept telling y'all, it's because I'm testing some CTR. And within less than 2 days, I was outranking Chris Palmer and a bunch of these other guys that have, you know, 50,000 views on their YouTube channel with only doing, that was, well, you know, with only doing the traffic to it in less than 2 days. So, and then I've been running some other ones, but their customer service level is excellent, because that's one of my pet peeves, and Harley knows that. I've told her before, I can't stand when someone you message them and then they don't ever answer you. Same thing with SEO. They take your money and then you'll never hear from them 30 days later. Jeff knows all about this shit. He'd done it with people in Australia. They would never talk to him until they wanted more money. Am I lying, Jeff?
No, you're
right on, because they'll do that. They won't talk to you until it's like, hey, Mr. Brent, you know, we didn't get the rankings you want. Can we get some more money? No, fuck off. You know,
it's
so
true.
Excuse my language, but that's the way most of them act. So whenever I saw, you know, Brent originally reached out to me for some SEO, and then we started to talk about CTR. And then I told him the methods I was using. Then he introduced me to Michael. And then I've been like, you know, I'm literally slapping this shit on everything I do anymore. So let me admit Gary. And y'all can go ahead. I'll talk all day about this stuff because I love it.
All right. Thank you, William. Yeah, it's true. It's true. I know that as a marketer myself, most people, you don't hear from them until ding, ding, ding. It's time to pay the bills. Hey, cough it up, you know, and they get back to you when they want their money. So Jeff, I'm not going to hit you up for that, man. Just Coca-Cola, because I think I have a fellow Coke lover here from your comment. So, yeah. All right. So here's the Viber Tools group. Just want to show you this, but I got to tell you, I don't allow anyone in unless they're members. So it's just, you know, here's that great guy, Brent. I don't know how he got his way in here. He wormed his way into the Viber Tools group. Unbelievable, Brent. Yeah, so we've got a lot of guys in here. I got to tell you, a couple of months ago, I had 666 members. And the guy that joined that was number 666 made me remove him because he was so upset that he was number 666. I was telling some of my guys about it. So I had to wait until someone else joined so I could put that guy back in. It was hilarious. But got a lot of great guys in here, a lot of interaction. You'll see a lot of the regulars in here posting all the time. Don't even ask. That was definitely late. Okay, so good group. Let's go back over here, and I'm just going to pull over an incognito window. So this is my local town, Warrenton, Virginia. If you ever want to look, if you're a conspiracy theorist and you want to have some fun, totally off topic here, type in Warrenton, VA, fake town, FBI, and you'll find some crazy stories because supposedly this is a fake town that was created as a FBI hub. It's really kind of funny. There's a lot of rumors around here. It probably is fake. It's wild what goes on around here in Northern Virginia. But so I typed in heater repair Warrenton, VA, and I'm just going to create a test campaign here and just show you what a credit cost would be. So let's do Appleton Campbell. Put that in as the business name. I'm going to right click and copy the website URL. I'm going to go to their phone number here and copy that out. Oops, not the link address. Okay, pop that number in here. Let's say 2 minutes on the site. Let's say I want to drive in 100 visits. And I want to do, well, I'll do latitude, longitude, but for now, I'm going to do that. And we're going to set up a calendar. Let's say from the 12th until April 12th. Okay, so in 1 month's time. So this was 8 credits for that campaign. If you want to set that campaign up as GMB Viber, not very much at all. 100 visitors, let's just say Appleton Campbell. Oh, well, phone number. Okay, 8 credits total. That's it. That's really cheap. Really, really cheap. So regular GMB Viber, you'll get 500 credits per month that comes to you every month at the same time that your account was created. So if you jump in today, It'll be, tonight, whenever I set it up, maybe tomorrow at about 2:00 in the morning would be, as I call it, your birthday when you get the credits. Now, if you run the Hydra on your computer, which everybody has to, you receive a credit for every, I believe, 15 GMBs that you view. So every 15 GMBs that you view, you get a credit back into your account. So as a regular Viper member, you're able to earn 400 credits per month. So you get 500 credits to start out with, and then you're able to earn 400 over that month. But I got to tell you, right now, the Viper is not being fair. And when I say not being fair, it's not being fair to the Viper, to me, to my system. I believe it's giving people way more credits. I see that smile on Brent's face. He knows he's getting way more credits than he should by running the tool. So it's really funny. So people are getting more credits right now within the system. I just haven't bothered with it because they're running the tools and they're able to set up campaigns and whatnot. So that's really cool. So it's providing actually more credits than they should. So I'll just leave it there for the time being. That's what's going on.
Mike, I'm going to cut you off for a second.
Yeah.
So as anyone new that wants to join this group, I will vouch for Michael as being one of the most generous guys I've ever seen. We have a platinum group, which often ends up in these after hour parties on Zoom that stuff gets talked about that just is mind blowing and changes the way I do business. But besides the point, Michael will show up once every other month and, oh, here's a VPS for you and run your tools on this. Or last week it was, well, here's 100 RU emails. I got 10,000, so I'm giving you guys all 100 each. And so not only is he great at support, but and put an easy tool to work with. He's more than willing with his time and makes everyone very happy. So it's pretty exciting to be a part of the group.
Sorry, I have one more question while I have you guys. At home, I have like old laptops laying around. If I put in your agent on the laptops, so you guys don't care by the one single public IP address?
I recommend at max 2 to 3 devices on a home computer because that would look natural in a certain sense of coming in. So I really like to keep people around 2. I don't like to see too many. I had one guy tell me, hey, I got 15 laptops running at home. I was like, yeah, that's totally natural. You got 15 drug addicts that are searching 24 hours a day, for videos.
We got lots of computers running. I don't know.
We have an office here. We have over 30, and every one of them, Javid, have their own IP address. So it's not that expensive to have to do it either. So we did it because, we had this stupid bot thing kept jumping up, says, oh, we think you're a bot because there's so much damn traffic coming off of our, internet connection. So, and even with my proxies, I still have the bots come up. So nothing I can do about that one. Yeah,
that's true. Yeah. So I don't like too many. I have one user and I have no idea who this guy is. Brent's going to know who I'm going to talk about here. I'll just say the first part of his name is Sai. And Sai is in my opinion, a spook. We'll go back. We'll leave the tinfoil story somewhere else. But Sai has never told me his name. And one time I spent 3 months trying to figure out who he was and I couldn't figure it out. So he's installed, he provides over 150,000 views to the Viper network per month. And he installs it on all of his clients' residential computers. And he lives somewhere in the Northeast is all I know, but it's funny. Sai's like, go ahead, try to find me, Michael. And he's a ninja. He's a ninja. He's one of my oldest legacy members, and he's got so many views that he provides. So for him, individual home computers, different residential IPs, that's fine. But I definitely don't want to hear of someone with 15 computers running from their home with all the same IP address. That would look pretty unnatural in Google's eyes. Yeah. The only way that you could really get around that, and we actually discovered this, was changing the MAC address. But I'm not going to release that version. I do have that version of Viper that I will run here on my home computer testing, and it's a MAC address changer, but it does change your IPs and your MAC address. And that's one of the things. Let me just explain that real quick. for people that are using proxies with CTR tools, you may think that it's changing your IP address, but it's really not. It's changing your IP address. Yes, proxies change that. But when you have an IP address, you have two layers. Actually, you have multiple layers, many layers. But you have your IP address and you have your MAC address. So while you're spoofing with your proxies, your real IP address up here, Google and the other internet providers, YouTube can see it as well, your MAC address never changes. And your MAC address may never change. Your real your real IP may change to a proxy. But if they dig down in there, which they do, Google does that all the time, they see your MAC address is the same. And they see 10,000 views coming from, say, 10,000 different proxies, residential proxies, but the same MAC address.
Are you sure of that one? Because as far as I know, the MAC address is only of the last device. So if you're going through the router, they'll see the MAC address of the router, not of your computer.
We've been testing it, and it's been showing up in our tests in Google.
Interesting.
Yeah, so we did a MAC address changer, and we found the only way of not getting tracked as deep as that was with the MAC changer, at least in our testings. Sorry, my Google phone just picked up and it started searching MAC address changer. Don't you love it when you're being spied on 24/7 by your phones? It's unbelievable. So yeah, that's interesting. Let me go down and see if I missed any. Yes, Graham, great question. Credits roll over and they continually roll. So if you have 428 credits left this month, next month you're going to have 928 credits plus all those that you earn. And then like Brent said, in case I decide to, sometimes I'll roll out on a special. I'll say, okay, guys, this month this month you're going to get a credit for every 5 views. I've done that before. Holidays come around like Easter, I'll probably submit a bonus to everybody. My other guys, they get bonuses. Sometimes I'll send out, hey, happy birthday, 5,000 credits. Or, happy birthday, here's 1,000 credits, boom, right into their account. So I do spread that out. I got to tell you, and I was just discussing this with Brent. Brent was on that call. I've never actually sold credits before in my tools. And I think this is probably something that will come off as bad for some people, but I have a credit-based system. People think, oh, you're selling credits like a madman. I've never sold credits.
When I signed up, it hasn't went down since I've been with you. I've been at like 54,000 damn credits for like forever. So I'm like, guy, that's one of the first questions I asked him, guys, too. I said, am I going to have to buy credits? And he's like, well, I have never actually sold any credits, if truth be known. So I remember that conversation all too well.
Yeah. So it's pretty simple. You get a lot of credits. You rarely run out, unless you're doing Mach 25 and you're not. And that's 500 credits a pop. Whenever I test it, whenever I'm running that. So, yeah. So Harley, so it's $97 per month per product, or if you get the combo, it's $197 for all three on the product price. And then you got all three tools in there. And you get 750 credits per month for the combo tool.
How quickly are you guys updating the browsers as Google is rolling out newer versions?
Every time an update comes out, we roll out a new update.
Okay.
Yeah, we're constantly up on that. And we'll also tell people, update your browsers, your Google browsers as well. Now we're using built-in browsers, but we're also connected with the user's browser. So anytime that someone installs a tool, I always tell them, make sure you have the latest version of the Viper. And there are some issues right now on the install. So if you pick up Viper, just going to give you a heads up, there is an install bug that we're trying to quash, but I give you instructions, video instructions, do this, do this, do this, and it resolves it. And if you get stuck, if you're like, where in the hell am I? Just when you submit a support ticket, include TeamViewer ID and password, and I just remote in, super quick, takes me less than 3 minutes, and I fix it. I did it for William a couple of times when he moved around different computers, and just pop in, bada bing, bada boom, and it's taken care of. And then you're up and running. Valerie, great question. I have a Mac, not a PC. If you run it on Parallels, yes. And I do have a lot of Mac people. Brent, you're not a Mac guy, are you? Good man. Sorry, Mac people. I'm always jostling the Mac people in my group.
I don't look good in a turtleneck.
Yeah, so if you run on Parallels, it'll run great. It'll run perfect on Parallels. But it's really PC only. And the main reason behind that is my programmers don't have access to an Apple where they're located at. Apple is extremely expensive in their area. And I'm like, well, you can run Parallels. I could send them a laptop over there. They could reverse engineer, but I think run on Parallels and run on PC is good. Parallels is an Apple free install that you can put in. So you can download it for free, I believe. There's another device actually that you can get. And this is what it's called, a PC stick. Do you happen to run this on? Merlino, do you run it on PC stick at all? Brent does?
I do, yeah.
Okay.
I used to. I've been waiting to find out if we can on the new one. Yep.
Yep, so Brent does. Yeah, so this is a PC stick. You can see the HDMI port right here. This does not go into your computer HDMI port, just to let you know. I've gotten all sorts of questions. So this goes into your monitor. So for example, let me see if I have a long enough screen here without popping it off. So this is one of my monitors. Well, that's a microphone. This is the monitor right here. So what I do is I plug this straight into my HDMI right here on this monitor. This is my crazy Coke stuff. So anyways, I pop it right there, pop it in my monitor, my HDMI, and this is a complete Windows computer within here. Windows OS. You can pick this up on Amazon for $97. You need to make sure it's not the Chrome. The Chrome one's cheaper. It's like $47, and people will buy the Chromium. Yes, $47 for a Chromebook, but it does not run on a Chrome OS. It needs to be a Windows OS. $97 on Amazon. Plug it into an HDMI monitor. Connects to your wireless internet. Has a wireless everything built in. Has USBs right here on the side that you can hook your mouse and your keyboard into, and you just hook it up. Install Viper on it. Hit run. And it's running as a micro computer. So that's another option for you, is run it on a PC stick. This has 4 gigs of RAM and it's a 4-core PC. Actually, sorry, this is a 2-core PC stick. So 2-core, 4 gigs of RAM, and it runs great. So I have a couple of these sitting around. So that's definitely something you could do. Yeah, you can't.
Sorry. How well has your tool worked with SABs, GMBs, service area businesses?
Are you talking about not using an address on the GMB?
Yeah, because the service area businesses don't have an address, so the direction button is not there, which I know is a huge ranking signal. So if that is out of the picture, how well does your tool work with SABs?
Brent, I see you're shaking your head there.
It's no problem. There's so many other ways to run traffic to it. If you run the Video Viper into video, it'll go down into the description. You can hit the share link in there, and then you're getting a social share and a GMB link all at once. You can run just straight Viper traffic to any post inside the GMB and link out from it. So there's a million other ways to do it. I've had no problem. I've got 2 of my entities are service area, and I had no problem ranking.
Okay, thank you.
And it may actually also work within the GMB Viper when we add that new feature in where you put in the GMB URL share. So if it can't find it, it would click directly on the GMB URL and go directly to it.
And so there's one more point, is that just because if you look in the code, if you open the code, I think William might even done this on one of his shows. Inside there, the code's there. The address code is still in the GMB, so it can be seen. And any tool that's doing back end manipulation is going to see the address. So I wouldn't worry about it.
Yeah. Nope. Good question. Very good question.
I think the code line is 658 or something like that.
Can I say something real quick?
Yeah, go for it, Merlino.
First off, I'm part of Mike's group and use his tools, and they definitely work. And for SABs in particularly, because I have a couple of those, I use the YouTube Viper to do video citations with the exact proximity I'm trying to boost the signal in, right? With the launch, lag, all the tricks that you guys know, and then run the traffic there. And that always helps out with getting the SAB, specifically the proximity area you're trying to boost.
Yeah, thank you, Merlino. Thank you for popping in on that. These guys are ninjas in my group. They're
And
great. So
I came to the webinar today also to say I'm part of Mike's group. It's how me and Brent know each other. Brent put me on to William. I joined his course, Ninja. So it's like the community, I like the way it is because in Mike's group, we share so much, it's crazy. Like it's almost to the point where we watch who comes in and feel them out at first because it's just Nuggetville. So I noticed that William, he drops nuggets like he's dropping it hard, dropping it like it's hot. So it's a good match. That's why I came here on a Friday night to show love. If you're not doing CTR and you're messing with GMBs, you're missing out. And I have all of the CTR tools, phones over there, like everything. This works. It works. Simple and plain.
If I were to go for one of your tool and then a month later I decide to go for the all three, I still get that 197, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Yep. Yeah, I'm not going to say, well, you know what? Screw you. It's now 497.
No, I just want to test drive it. So.
Yeah. No, absolutely. No, get in there and test drive. Definitely. So there's no penalty to later. I'm not going to jack up the tires later on, Nothing like that. I hate marketers that do that. That's total garbage.
And also one thing, if you're doing GMBs, like if you're gonna buy one tool for GMB, just remember the Google Viper, which is separate from the GMB Viper. That's how you send stuff to your GMB posts, and I use all three for GMBs strictly. Don't care about YouTube, strictly GMBs. So just keep that in mind as well.
Yeah, that's true. And actually, Brent, I was going to say that earlier with your rankings. You were using Video Viper and GMB Viper together, right?
Yeah. I've always used them all together. I used the GMB Viper mostly for branded, and then get all my second entity traffic with the other two tools. So I did notice, Jared, sorry, there was a PayPal problem in the community. So it's not that Michael doesn't have it, it's that there was a problem. So sorry about that.
Yeah, I'm sorry, man. I had to switch over to Stripe. Apparently, I was doing too well on PayPal.
Yeah, I've told them the same issue. I don't use PayPal either. Once you start making above $10,000 or more, they tend not to like you anymore. And
yeah,
I was doing it, and then they would hold my money for fucking 30 days. And I'm like, it's not that you're affecting me, you're affecting my team. Okay. And then they'd let my money go after I quote unquote proved everything. And then they would be fine for 2 more weeks and then did it again. Third time I went, that's when I started using Payoneer. And with Payoneer, I have to manually, everybody's like, why does it take you so long to invoice? Because I have to manually invoice everybody. And I just got Stripe because Payoneer gives me a US bank account with Bank of America. So, and I can't just switch everybody over to Stripe. That's the only reason I have it. Because then if they see all this money shooting, they're going to go, oh, and they're going to freeze me again. And I ain't going to deal with that shit. So,
yeah, that's painful. You know what? It happened to me on Black Friday 2019.
Yeah.
And it was truly Black Friday. I'd set up a massive promo. I was planning on selling so much on Black Friday. Facebook's like, boom, 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 boom. I'm not going to flip you off, but that's what they did. It's a middle finger, and I went, you've got to be freaking kidding me.
No,
I almost contacted
I literally, because I had them online and they said they couldn't help me. I said, okay, then this is what I'm going to do, and you can watch me do it. And I went refund everybody, and then I rebuild them via Payoneer. And
yeah.
Payoneer, I generally am paid on Payoneer same day, just like best thing about PayPal is you can be paid same day. And now Payoneer can be linked to WooCommerce, so I've even solved that problem.
Yeah, that's really nice. Yeah,
So
yeah.
I can put everything that I want to sell. For instance, this is totally off subject, but you know, you could create, items for sale and put them on your GMB same way I'm gonna be doing them. But and I can link it now instead of directly PayPal. I can link it to Payoneer. So,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah,
But
it's always tough.
he was asking in regards to your service area businesses, for instance, and using YouTube. I would still use the YouTube because you could still put your name, address, phone number, and your share link in there. And when the Viper runs, it's searching that and hits it. I did that on, I tested that on my moving company, right? And we've already seen increases. It's only been running for the past 24 hours. So I've been running, I did that video, I ran it, stopped. So it's been running for a couple of days, but I've been running it past, 24 hours too. So and I've been seeing the increases. That's the company down in Broward. Michael
And was
asking
that
about it too.
which property was that, William?
That's the one. It's Broward Moving Company.
I mean, is that a GMB or is
It's a
that
GMB Saab.
okay? Yeah.
And I do the videos still because they still go in there and they read the NAP information and the share link, which is then tied to the CID. So all of that's tied. Same thing with the images and stuff. What we've talked about in the class is right click and grab the image, then paste them into your blogs and stuff, because that's all tied to your CID and everything. So
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's so many different ways you can skin the cat. You can take your embeds, your map embeds, embed them on blogs, send traffic directly into the blogs. You can create stacks. Now, I'm not going to go into SEO stuff here, but you can create like 8-level stacks.
we've talked about that. Everything I do is in stacks. So like when we come back, while I'm taking the break, is because we are leaving the easy stuff, which is what we've been doing. And now when I come back, we're going to get specifically into quote unquote G stacks that don't work. And, we're going to go over how I stack them, and then what do we do with our stacks to make them work. And then after that, we're going to get into cloud stacking with Amazon and Microsoft and all that, and HTML sites, and give everybody all the dirty little secrets. So
you gotta love it. That's why I fly the black flag back there.
yeah,
Yeah.
I love it.
There's so much you can do. So much you can do online, with stacking and whatnot. So that's awesome. All right, guys, any other questions? Anybody else have anything else you'd like me to answer? And Drew, I did see a private message there. Yes, I have got Evergreen to be working very soon, man. That's definitely a plus. Yeah. So any other questions, feel free to drop them in. Oh, and one other thing on the comments, if you're doing any type of video marketing, the more comments, the better. Programmers just ran a test 2 days ago with the comments within the video Viper, and they set a brand new video and they dropped in 300 views, and they got like 30 comments on it within the Viper, and that video hit an algo within about 12 hours. And
Greg Campbell actually mentioned something that day when we talked about, because blog commenting used to be old school black hat when me and him got started. Then it kind of phased away. And now he's been testing. Everybody on legit was like making fun of him, because he started a legit offer in which he was doing blog commenting. Well, he did that because it started working again. And, he was gaining traffic and gaining rankings off of his blog comments, because like he said before, it doesn't matter that, hey, you're doing blog comments, but where are you doing them? What websites are you doing them on? And things that used to work no longer work, can come back again, just like in quote unquote fashion. What used to be fashion before goes away and then comes back, so same thing.
Yeah,
So-
absolutely. I did miss
Sorry,
one.
guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you going to Hale's question?
Yeah.
Hale's got a good question.
Yeah, go ahead. Do you want to address that?
Yeah. So if I understand, Hale, you're looking for SAB when you don't with local. You can put in the Latin long, so you know the address just because it's not shown. So you drop the Latin long, and then you pick the radius you want to go from there. So it should have no effect. You will get all the benefit of the Latin loan, and super targeted.
And I think what she was asking was, what if you don't want? Okay, she said if you don't want a radius around her business is located, you could actually select a really far out radius. So you could say, I want to have traffic from 1,000 miles away. You know, and you could do that. If I'm understanding your question there correctly, you could have it from a far out distance. And no, Sherry, there's no timer on that at all. So no scarcity on this. I'm not going to, marketers love scarcity. At midnight, it changes to $197.50. No, there's no fear of missing out. No FOMO on this.
But I'll give you a deal.
You sound like Satan there, Brett. Give me your soul.
After 12 o'clock, it's going to go up by $100, but I'll give you a deal. I'll make sure it's $197.
Exactly. Yeah, definitely. Good question. Everybody, that's really great questions. You have a very interactive group here, William, obviously. Everybody knows that.
I just had another guy I've been messing with. Y'all seen him. He's dropping a GMB course, and he's been in my course, and he just dropped me a message about some stuff, and he's like, I just saved him. One of the things we talked about was the Q&A GMB, how to pull Q&As and put them on your website, and how to drop those into your GMB as well. He's like, I was literally paying $5 a pop off of Fiverr for this, and you just saved me $25,000. It's like, love it. Send me 5%. Wow. I will take it. Yeah. Everything. I love certain people. It's like y'all have nuggets and stuff. My hardest part is, like he just dropped something. He can't share everything that you learn, and it's like, oh, I can't share it. I want to share it, but I can't. But the thing is, if I share it with everybody, you know what happens,
Oh yeah.
Everybody starts using it, or they try to steal it, and then they say, it was my method. I'm the one that came out with it originally. It's like, yeah, okay.
Yep.
So, but love you guys. We're going to definitely, I'm taking a break till April 1st, and then I'm going to have Michael back on here and Brent to actually show some methods, because the one method that Brent talked to me about, which I have now termed, if you will, driving direction manipulation. And he knows exactly what I'm talking about, I'm pretty sure. And that was I'd never even thought of it. But once he told me, it was game changer for me. I'm probably going to have him come back, just talk about that, have him on, have Michael on, because we're going to get heavy into CTR. So, but yep.
Yeah, and real quick here, Gary sent me a private message. Gary, I don't actually know that. So no, that wasn't me. That wasn't me at all. I created the Viper tools in 2017. Before that, I was with a live streaming tool. So I had one of the first YouTube live streaming tools. It was called Livestream Genius. And that's what it was.
Let me answer this question, because someone's asking. Just because I'm taking a break for 2 weeks does not mean I'm going to stop working for 2 weeks. My team is actually downstairs on the weekend right now, because I went downstairs, said, who wants to earn extra pay for the weekend? They're actually here. It's storming. We got a typhoon, I believe, in Manila, maybe. I don't know. But in Visayas, we do. That doesn't mean I'm not going to be working. It means I'm not taking on any new clients. So if you're an agency you want on board, I'm sorry, should have gotten on before. You're going to have to wait a bit, because, I got to take care of my peoples and my rank and rent partners and stuff like that. So, but I'm still available. I'm just not going to be doing interviews. I'm not going to be doing phone calls, not going to be accepting agencies unless you're a current agency with me and it's an emergency. So, but you can always still reach me via email. If you have any questions too regarding CTR, the program, everything, drop me a message. Michael's on my friends list. Brent's on my friends list. Any of these guys that, are in here today, they're actually already in the group. If you want to talk to them, just go to my friends list or ask me and I'll send you their information, So, But any more questions? Because we're going to have to get off here. I need to rest my voice and take a break.
Yeah, you need to kick back and relax. And guys, thank you so much. And for those that did purchase, if you're still here after the call, I'll be setting up your accounts. You may have gotten some automated information. Hey, here's your information. It's not the real Viper information. It's hooked up to the old licensing system if you did get something. So just email me at support at bosmarketingllc.com. I'll drop that in. You should have gotten that with the receipt, but just in case you didn't, let me put this in real quick. Okay, there we go. bosmarketingllc.com support, and just include your receipt and let me know that you're from Williams Group, and we'll get you all set up. But if there's a lot of people that did jump in, I saw a lot of people, then it may just be a little bit to set you up, but I'll have you up tonight. Lots of 80s music, lots of Coke, Jeff, and all that good stuff. He'll be awesome. So thank you again so much for coming in. Yeah, there's an automated after hours. Don't worry. Those hours I don't actually pay attention to, and I actually work all the weekends too. So it says I'm available between 9 and 5. Lies.
My calendar used to have I was available 24/7 days a week. Jeff knows that.
Yeah.
That's a fact. They would be messaging me trying to book a calendar at 1 a.m. I was like, I'm asleep. Well, your calendar says you're available at 1 a.m. Yeah, well, that was when I needed a lot of work, and I just figured, open up my calendar. What harm can come from it? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Don't wish for things you don't want to happen.
Nah.
Yeah. Exactly. Awesome.
It's been great having you guys on. Like I said, y'all have any questions, email me. And I'm gonna have Michael and Brent back on here, and if he knows, I know he's got a huge team, so maybe we'll do something together special. But I'll talk to you guys soon. Y'all have a great weekend. Be blessed.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, guys.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.